Interesting conversation you're having here.
This one instead, yeah.
Next time you come, we'll talk about hybrid vigor. Okay. Dr. Ahluwalia is with us, and we have a number of items, so let's begin with this.
We're going to get a couple of Ebola things out of the way first. There's been some confusion with the CDC and what they're saying and the poster that was put out about how you can contract Ebola, so clear that up for us.
So the controversy is related to sneezing.
Yeah.
Ebola is not a disease which induces an upper respiratory problem, so people are not sneezing to start. So it would not be like the flu or the cold where people are sneezing as part of the disease process. So it's something that is not as likely with somebody who has Ebola.
But it said that on the website, and they had to take that down, right?
Correct. So number two is that when people sneeze, there are viruses in the droplets that do come out. The ones that are transmitted, the flus, are lighter, they last longer in the air, are easy to rebreathe. They survive longer outside the body than does Ebola. And Ebola has never been shown to be transmitted by sneezing.
This way.
So
Okay.
is it potentially possible? Yes, it is.
Can it be on a doorknob?
We don't know how long it survives.
You know, there is a very passionate part of the population that believes that information is being withheld from us, and there's kind of a conspiracy going on. What do you say to that?
Well, so if you sneezed and a lot of mucus came out and landed on some place and you touched it and you touched your eyes, it's like being in contact with the virus, right? So I think the different grades of what we're talking about, it's not like the flu.
Right.
It is much less infectious.
And if it were like the flu, many of us would have it by now.
Exactly.
All right, we were misleading you a little bit.
We saw a little bit of that case. We saw the nurse,
yes.
who violated her quarantine.
So this is a very, very tricky legal issue and ethical issue. You know, what do you do? Are you going to trample on the rights of this woman for the larger population? Are you going to keep her confined for 21 days? These are heroes who go out to help people who are sick or are not being served by other people, and we need to treat them with respect. Now, there has to be some middle ground that we need to seek. I think she has backed off and said she's not going to go into public, but I think this is more of a legal issue that needs to be sorted out.
First of all, if you can spread it, all the members of the media there would have it at this moment. But beyond that, there are people who say, Dr. Ahluwalia, you're a hero. We're all heroes. What's the big deal? Stay home for 21 days. How much are we asking him? We're not sticking you in a isolation booth somewhere. Stay home.
So think about it. If I asked you to sit at home for 21 days, would you be able to do that?
Would I have my computer and my TV and my books?
Yeah, in an instant.
Most people wouldn't get paid. Most people wouldn't be able to make a living. It would be very, very difficult for most people. So it's easy for us to say that you do that, but I think it's harder in real life.
All right, milk.
Okay, I'm always thinking that I need to drink, and I'm deficient. I make my kids drink all this milk, and now I may be harming us instead of doing my body good.
Right. So this whole milk issue came up because we need vitamin D and we need calcium to keep our bones strong. We fortified milk with vitamin D and calcium, and we said drink a lot of milk because you're going to get calcium and vitamin D from there. What we didn't realize is that milk itself has some intrinsic properties that may not be the best for us. So lactose, which is present in milk, is broken down by the body into something called D-galactose. And this particular thing is responsible for some aging issues, some increasing inflammatory markers in your body.
An actual breaking, like, of the brittle bones, right?
Yeah.
Everything we thought it was healing.
There are
helping.
people who are lactose intolerant.
Yes.
You're going beyond that.
So the people who are lactose intolerant don't have as much of a problem because they can't break the lactose down. It is the people who have.
So would this apply, say, to Greek yogurt that everybody's eating?
Does not apply to yogurt, does not apply to
Cheeses.
cheese, because these don't have lactose in those amounts. And it has already been
So would
pre-digested.
you say to your patients, milk isn't good for you?
I wouldn't say that. I think everything in moderation. I think if you want to drink a glass of milk, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think you should drink 4 or 5 or 6 glasses of milk a day.
I remember when I was a kid, they'd say drink 4 glasses of milk a day.
I think they
It's part of
still
the
recommend
pyramid,
3
right?
cups of milk a day.
Yeah.
But you know, I think we're learning more and more that it's the vitamin D and the calcium, not the milk itself, that helps your bones.
Okay. Chronic pain. 1 in 5 Americans has some sort of chronic pain.
You know, I was a little surprised when I saw that. So that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I didn't realize is that the U.S. consumes 80% of all opioid narcotics in the world and 99% of hydrocodone. That's
Is that we're
a
in more
lot.
pain, or that's just our cultural lifestyle?
Well, I think it is the fact that we can afford it. I think the fact that a lot of our population is addicted to it. And, you know, a lot of us have chronic pain. So we don't really understand this fully.
And women more so than men?
Yeah, so, you know, it's related to obesity, it's related to our lifestyles, it is related to a lot of different things that may be a Western issue than an Eastern. Maybe the research is lacking, we don't know.
Okay.
But that's a lot of people
That
in
is a
pain.
lot in pain.
I
and
have
pain medications.
chronic pain, depending on who comes to work.
There's that, Steve, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. A, Dr. Ahluwalia, Sonu Ahluwalia. Thank you.